Morning, guys. I hope you all have been doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe, having a great spring, all that jazz. But I thought that we could do our makeup together today because we're going to look for my brother's fiance's wedding dress today, and so I want to make sure my makeup's looking good in case we all take any pictures or anything, or just because I like having my makeup on and I like having any excuse to do it. That's probably more the real reason, I guess. So I thought we could just catch up while I do this. So I am currently in my entering my last week of real responsibilities until I move, so that's pretty exciting. I have my final this week. It's take-home final, so hopefully it's not too bad. And then that's really, and then I have to turn in my research proposal, but I already have that done. I've had that done for a little bit now, so no stress with that. So I'm pretty excited to just have everything ticked off my to-do list in that regards. And then I do have my exam scheduled now, my licensure exam, so I'm not going to tell you when it is because if I fail it, it's going to be embarrassing for me, so I'd rather not a lot of people know when it is. But if I pass it, you'll know. But that's coming up too. So I've had to start studying for that as well. So that kind of has put a little bit more back on my plate. But that's fine because I don't have a lot of schoolwork to do right now anyway. But I wanted to talk about just what I've been doing to kind of keep sane and just do my hobbies and things like that, because I love having hobbies. I love hobbies in general. The importance of hobbies is, I feel like, underemphasized in society. I have a lot of people that come into counseling that don't enjoy spending time by themselves, or can't spend time by themselves, have to just have something on, doing something all the time because they don't have any hobbies. That really is what a lot of it comes down to. And once people start developing hobbies and things that they like to do, they're much happier. Obviously having a hobby does not solve every problem, so every person's problem is not going to be solved by having hobbies, but the more high functioning people that sometimes can really do the trick, emphasizing, okay, what can we do this week to try a hobby. I also like to emphasize that with hobbies, the point of it is not to be really good at it. You don't have to be really good at something to enjoy it and to have it be a hobby of yours. For example, I'll talk about my newest hobby that I've been really into lately. F1 racing. So it's Formula 1 racing. Honestly, I had not really heard much about it prior to a couple months ago. I probably heard it mentioned here or there, but just went in one ear out the other, didn't really think much of it, because I do love sports. I don't mind watching sports at all, but for example, my boyfriend loves basketball more than anything, and I'm fine watching basketball with him, but there's games on literally every single day. It is a commitment to be a basketball fan, and I just don't have that in me. I don't have that desire to constantly be looking at stats every single day, watching games every day. I don't know, it's too much of a commitment for me to be involved in a sport like that. So for me, I guess that's just in my head why I was I like watching sports, but I don't think I could get into a sport because that's too much of a commitment and I cannot do that. But then in March, in February, I found Lauren Asher's books. I read her Dreamland Billionaires series first in February. Absolutely loved it, adored it. So March comes around, the beginning of it, and I was going to visit Jordan for my spring break. So I downloaded a lot of books from Kindle Unlimited on my Kindle because I was okay, I just need to have a lot of books downloaded. I'm going to be reading a lot, whatever. And I saw Lauren Asher had another series out. I forget what it's called. I don't know what it's called, but it's some of the books are Wrecked. I think Throttled is one of them. Essentially they're about F1 drivers and the romance books. So okay, people, they're contemporary romance books. So it's not I'm just reading technical books about F1. But I was reading those while I was visiting Jordan, like we read at night before we go to bed most nights. So we'll just lay in bed and read our books. He'll read his books. He won't read my books. But he was kind of like trying to like see what I was reading. Like he just is interested to know like what I'm interested in at the moment, because I do go through a lot of different interests, like literally constantly. I'm rotating. But so I was telling him, and he was like, you know that like Netflix has created a documentary series like the past couple years about F1 like racing and F1 drivers. Like I was like, okay. Like at first I was like, doesn't seem like I'll be interested in it, but okay. So I was like, well, I'll give it a try. I don't really have a lot to do this spring break, so what am I gonna do but watch Netflix all day? So I gave it a try. I went on to Netflix. I was like, Formula One, Drive to Survive. That's what the show is called. Let me tell you, I was absolutely hooked, obsessed. Like the drama in the show is off the charts, up there with Real Housewives kind of drama, you know what I'm saying? So I was pleasantly surprised by how much I really enjoyed it. And beyond the drama, I just really enjoyed like learning about the sport and like learning about how technical it is and like all that goes into it, rather than just like thinking it's just people like out there driving, you know? Like it's wild. And so I actually got like really into it. I started to kind of do some research on it, whatever, and then I decided I wanted to start watching it, kind of keeping up with it when I can. So I downloaded the Formula One app. Sorry, I have a watery eye issue. Like this eye like waters nonstop, so I have to like kind of like prevent it from doing that when I'm, especially when I'm doing my makeup. Anyway, so I downloaded the Formula One app so I could know when the races are and things like that. And I was able to, well, the bad part about Formula One racing is that it's all over the world, which means that is in different time zones. And because it's in different time zones, that means I can't always watch it just by myself. And so I tried to watch the race in Australia a couple weeks ago, but it was on at 1 a.m. here. I stayed up for it, and I don't stay up to 1 a.m. ever, but I fell asleep during it, so I didn't watch the end of it. But I tried. But there's a race going on this weekend that I've been kind of like keeping up with. Like I watched the qualifying yesterday, and that was the first qualifying I'd ever watched. And it was very interesting. I really enjoyed it a lot. It's very intense, but it's also like, it's very short, you know, like it's not like you're sitting there for super long time with things like being dragged out forever. Like they're gonna get it done kind of a thing. So I also enjoy that about it. Like I'm not just waiting there forever for a result. But yeah, so I learned a lot about the qualifying yesterday. It's very interesting. They do it in like 3 rounds. So there's like Q1, Q2, and Q3, and it's like a knockout thing. So in Q1, like all 20 drivers are racing, and then at the end of it, I think it's the 5 lowest timed drivers for like 1 lap. They time their best lap. They get like 20 minutes to just do laps, and then you try to get their best lap in those like 20 minutes or whatever. And then they knock out the last 5 drivers, and then in Q2 they go again. They have a little bit less time, do their laps, and then knock out the next lowest 5. And then Q3 is the actual qualifying one to see who gets on. It's called pole position. That is the person who starts at the front of the grid. It's called a grid, like how they're set up when they start the race. And pole position, they get a little wheel trophy if they get that, because they have the fastest lap thing. So that's pretty cool. And yesterday my favorite driver got it, so that was pretty cool too to see him get it. His name is Charles Leclerc. He races for Ferrari. So yeah, that was interesting. It was nice to learn a lot about that, like, because I was confused as to how they decided who was on pole and whatever, because I'd heard that terminology but didn't exactly know like what that entailed, I guess. But oh, something I just said, 20 drivers. That's also what I like about it, is there's only 20 drivers in F1. I mean, there's also like F2, F3, and I think there might be F4 even, which are like lower levels of Formula One driving. And it's kind of like where like teenagers and people like build up to get into like real, like the F1, like, which is like the main stage kind of a thing. But there's 20 drivers, which means it's only 20 people you have to know. And you don't even have to know like all of them, but it's so much easier to remember 20 people rather than, let's say, how many people are on a basketball team, like 10 people for 30 teams, like that's like 300 people. I'm not memorizing that. But 20 drivers, I can get a pretty good idea of like who the drivers are and what teams they drive for and whatnot. So that's something I also really like about it, is that I don't have to like remember a lot of different people, and you also get to know a lot of the drivers. Like if you follow like a lot of the team's social media accounts and whatever, they do like fun activities as with their teammates and things like that. So you kind of get to know like their personalities outside of racing as well, which I think is fun too. And another aspect with that just reminded me of is teams. So technically they drive in teams, but they're competing against their teammate as well. So the way it works is at the end of the whole season, like somebody wins, like is world champion individually, just on their own, based on the amount of points they've earned. But there's also like I think it's called the Constructors Championship, which is like the team champion. So which team accumulated the most points. So typically each team has like a front guy, like someone they're gonna like push to get more points, because that's their better chance at the individual one. But either teammate could get more points. So sometimes the teammates like I've watched like in Drive to Survive, they've shown sometimes where their teammates have crashed into each other because they're competing, and like sometimes it's just not good. But so essentially it's like each race, first place I think it's 25 points, the next one gets like 15, the next one gets 10, and then the top 10 get points. The bottom 10 don't get any points. Person with fastest lap gets like an extra point or something like that. And so you're accumulating your own points, but you're also getting points for your team. So I also find that interesting as well. But yeah. Hello, Looney. Hello. This is just my new hobby. I'm really into it, as you can tell. I've learned a lot about it, which I've enjoyed. And I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun to have something that like I'm excited about, like, and it's also nice, like it's not like a commitment. Like I said before, like it's not like a super high commitment. The only issue is I was looking up prices, and they now come to 3 places in the US. They come to Miami, which is I think it's in May. I think it's it's next weekend actually. And then they go to Austin, I think, in Texas. That was the first US place they'd gone to. They've gone to that one for at least a couple of years now. And then they've added Las Vegas. And I was looking it up, and like it costs a couple $1,000s, which I don't know if I was looking at just like normal tickets. I don't know. It's kind of, you know, we're still learning. But I thought maybe someday I can go watch them race in real time in person. That'd be fun. But I really wish I knew people that watched it so I could talk to other people about it. Jordan will talk to me about it, because he's really like good about when I'm interested in something. Like he makes sure to kind of learn about it at least a little bit, or like he at least seems invested in it when I'm talking about it. I think it helps. This is like sports based too. But so I talk to him about it sometimes. But I really would just like somebody who like really knows, because he doesn't know all the drivers or anything like that. But maybe I'll convert him once we're living together. I'll be like, okay, you have to learn about all these people now. But yeah, I don't know. Like I keep harassing my friends about it. Like when I was in Columbus the other weekend, I even made some of my friends watch the first episode of Drive to Survive with me, because I want somebody else to like it so that we can talk about it together. But for now, it's just a me thing, and that's okay. Which is another thing about hobbies, is like you don't have to have other people to do it with for it to be fun and enjoyable, and for it to be a good hobby. Like I watch these things on my own. Like I enjoy it by myself, like whatever, and I'm really enjoying it. Like it doesn't diminish the amount of enjoyment I'm getting out of it because I'm doing it alone, kind of a thing. So just want to emphasize that you don't need to have other people around you all the time in order to enjoy something. But it can be nice to have people to talk to. So yeah, hold on. Spray the face. Okay. Oh, what time is it? So there is like something new they've started doing, which I think they did it last year, maybe a couple times too. I think maybe last year was the first time they did it, but it's called sprint races. So there's like a couple weekends out of the season. So not every week, not every race weekend has this, but where they're gonna do a sprint race. So an extra race on the Saturday before the main race on Sunday, which will just be like a race for fastest lap. And people can accumulate points based on that. So they're doing that today at like 9:30 my time. So that starts in like half an hour. So I'll probably try and tune in for that, and hopefully I can catch it all before we get on the road. But yeah, I'm excited that I get to like, I don't know, like start watching it, and like it's actually in a time zone this time that I can kind of keep up with. The race tomorrow's at 7 a.m. so I'm kind of like, we don't know if we'll be awake for it, but I'm gonna try if I am awake to watch it. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I don't know, I literally just spent the last 10 minutes like geeking out on F1 driving, but it's my new hobby. I love it a lot. I'm really interested in it, and I'm having a lot of fun learning about it and being invested in it. So that's really what you need in a hobby, is something that's fun and enjoyable for you. And like, I don't know everything about it. I don't know all the technicalities with it. Like, I'm not any super fan by any means, but I'm enjoying it. And yeah, that's really all that matters. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to be an expert in order to enjoy it. You just have to have an interest in it. Okay, these eyebrows are something else these days. It's really hard because I'm trying to grow them out from where I've overplucked them recently, and one of them's a little bit more cooperative than the other, but it's fine. We're gonna make it work. Okay. I mean, this one is just, my eyebrows are just like to flop right on over. They do not like to be pressed up in there. I want to get the Refi brow glue, because I hear that that's really, really good for like getting your eyebrows to like stick. So maybe once I start my job and start making money, I'll be able to get some of the Refi brow glue. But until then, my NYX glue will work just fine. Okay, yeah. But if you guys have any other hobbies or anything that you like, I'm always here to chit chat about them. Like, I know it can be hard sometimes if you like don't have anybody to talk to about them. So I'll always chat about your hobbies with you, and maybe I'll find a new hobby through that. You need more than one hobby is like my point here. Like, you know, having one hobby, great, but like having more than one hobby is even better. So then you're like never like, oh, I can't do this because I'm like here. Like, having like a lot of versatile hobbies like that you can do in a lot of different situations and things is really, really helpful. Like, just in general, like something you can do outside, something you can do inside on a rainy day, something you can do when you have a lot of time, something you can do when you have just a little bit of time. Like, just having like different hobbies for different needs of yours is really good. But yeah, I'm really, really, really excited for this summer, because there's a lot of races this summer that I think I'll be able to like tune into on the weekends. So that'll be fun. Yeah, if this inspires anybody to watch Drive to Survive and like get into F1, please let me know. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good time. It's a good time. And if you read the Lauren Asher books, let me know as well, because they are so good. I think she's actually about to release like a new series maybe. I need to look into it because I love her books. They're kind of like, they're all standalones, at least the one I've read, but they're like in a series. So like each book is a standalone, but like in the Dreamland Billionaires one, each book was about there were 3 brothers. Each book was about a different brother and their journey and their story. So like once their story was done, it moved on to the next brother. It's kind of how the F1 series was as well. Each of the 4 books was about a different driver, and then yeah, but they kind of like all like interlap. Like you didn't learn about the characters like in each book, but like the main character is a different driver each time, kind of a thing. So hopefully that didn't bore you. Hopefully that big old F1 chat wasn't boring to you all. Maybe it just showed you guys why I like it. But I am ready. I am so excited to get some more highlights in on Monday. Like, I'm really gonna try and lighten this hair up for the summer. Not that I don't mind how my hair looks right now. Like, it's definitely a bit darker than it's been in a while. I mean, it's not even like super dark. It just has like a lot more of my natural color in it, which I think is good. Like, I definitely like when she'll keep like a lot of this, and like I'll have her keep like a lot of the rootiness just because I think it grows out a lot nicer. But because I don't like it when it's just all like blocky. But I definitely like, especially in the summertime when there's like a little bit more lightness, especially in the front. So I'm gonna do that. Then I also want, because like I like to wear my hair up a lot, so I also think I want her to like cut, like not bangs, but like maybe some just like, I don't know, like let's like maybe like starting here and just like, you know, I don't know if that would look weird though, because the rest of my hair is like long and I'm gonna keep it long. I'm trying to grow it out. I just want to see like long blonde, like that kind of a vibe. We're like gonna check it out because I did the whole long natural hair thing 2 years ago, and my natural hair just makes me sad. I'm gonna be honest. Like when it's like all brown, all dark, I just feel really like down. I like when I have a little bit of texture, a little bit of color to it. But we'll talk about that more because I'll vlog my hair day on Monday. But yeah, I thought we could just do this little chat. It's sometimes nice to do a little makeup chat and whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go get ready for the day. Remember, you're amazing, you matter, and you are loved. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and just enjoy your days and make something fun out of it. Find some hobbies and just let me know. Let me know if you find some hobbies. Let me know if you get into F1 racing like me. Maybe we can start a chat about it. But okay, happy Saturday, guys.